the headphone thing is definitely a real deal. So, all right, everybody, welcome back to the KSR YouTube channel. No, nothing, nothing.
Welcome back to the KSR YouTube channel.
And if you guys saw yesterday, which actually this probably won't be yesterday because before this video comes out, we will have raced in the 2.4 hours of LeMullets. Hopefully, Taylor and I finished well. I will probably have already done a video on that, and this video probably won't come out until Sunday or Monday. We'll see. So, as you might have seen so like I mentioned in Friday's video, I have to leave because these guys, well, I have to leave because I have my kids with me, and it's already about their bedtime. And just picked them up from gymnastics. Came back here to check to see how my paint was drying. These guys have been just sitting around watching the paint dry, not doing
my bedtime too.
Not doing anything.
That's right.
Is it past your bedtime? It is 9.
Almost.
It is
My
9
bedtime's
o'clock.
9:30.
So actually, Santa's helper's coming back in a little bit too. So
Yeah. Papa Smurf's coming back.
Papa Smurf. So, and we're talking about Ricky, which Ricky's got school for, is it EMT or firefighter?
It's EMT right now, but it's because he wants to be a firefighter, and you got to do EMT school, and then
Gotcha.
yeah.
I
Like
thought
what
it
a
was
guy,
that.
not building.
I was
race cars,
confused
so
that
you
it was
can
both, but you know,
So you can learn how to save the world. Like,
he's out there saving lives.
what's his problem?
Like, cool deal. So anyways, coming up next, actually, we're going to get Steve's reaction to the car assembled because these guys are going to keep cranking on it. And then we'll get Steve's reaction when he walks in the morning. And then we'll go into the time lapse of all the stuff they're putting back in this thing. So let's get going. Here we go. All right, y'all. Well, let's get started into some time-lapse action because, you know, when we're thrashing, about all we've got time to film is time-lapses. And you're going to notice that I am not in these time-lapses because this is after hours on Thursday night, right before the 2.4 hours of LeMullets, because I had my kids that night, so I had to go home once gymnastics finished so that I could get them up and get them to school and all of that fun stuff. But Eddie and CJ stayed late, and then Ricky came back after he had his EMT class. So you'll see him here in a little bit. And also Grant is here while he's working on his Miata because he's getting it ready to go out to the local road course track to get it, put some laps on it. But actually, Ricky's already back, so I've got a piece of live camera action a little bit out of place, but that's okay. But you can see that they've let the paint dry, which at the beginning of this time lapse when it started, literally we pushed the car back in as the paint was even still tacky, and it was pretty humid outside, so we had to kind of get it back inside into the drier shop air, let it sit for an hour or so to get hard enough to where we could actually work on the car. And it looks certainly way better than it did. There's a few small imperfections, that bug me, Mr. OCD, but at least for the most part, as far as race car stuff goes, it looks really, really awesome. And you'll get to see that later in the video when you see all of the car put together. Well, I say all the car, at least all of the stuff, the mechanical parts, like the engine and the turbos and the hot side and the cold side piping. You'll see all of that, and I gotta say, it looks pretty awesome. So you can definitely see everybody's kind of doing their own little work area, and then they help out each other when they need to, taking out one of the new turbos to put it on the mount for the subframe, because the turbos themselves actually mount to the brackets that bolt to the subframe that we just got back from powder coat. And yeah, you haven't seen really that up close yet. Maybe you will in a minute.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Hey, you guys got me coming here after class.
I know, dude.
Coming here to wrap this thing up. Damn, looking good.
Yeah.
All right, now the real workers here. All right, we're gonna get this thing wrapped up, ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
What work are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Give me CPR?
We might need it after tonight.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Look at this
Yeah.
guy.
Absolutely not. There's no way. You think I can walk away from this? No way.
Well, I figured I'd throw in the old classic time-lapse music there. It's kind of funny, some of you guys seem to really like that. So, chucked it in so it wouldn't just be me yammering on the whole time we're doing the time-lapse stuff. And you can see CJ here on the left front bolting the front suspension back together, which we just had all of that powder coated as well, so there's a little bit of interference issues with the clevis where it attaches to the rear control arm. It looks like it's one control arm, but there's actually the straight out piece is one part of the control arm, and then the piece that comes in from the back, that's another part of the control arm. So, you know, those fitting together with the powder coat, because it was a really tight fit before, those fitting all together kind of needed a little bit of tweaking so that everything would assemble back together. And you might have caught Steve in the background. He was there through part of this. You know, he drove all day to get him down from Michigan, so he was pretty tired. But he got there, I think, around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And then he kind of started putting the intake on the engine, getting some of that stuff ready because, you know, we kind of need that on to be able to put the, you know, all of the interior stuff, like the rest of the throttle body elbows and the cold side piping. We need all that stuff on, which maybe it didn't need to be fully bolted on because it's most likely coming back off to do the wiring underneath the intake manifold, as well as some of the fueling we're going to try and work out, like the main fuel feed we're hoping to work out underneath the intake manifold. So we'll have to see how that works out. And Eddie's putting the converter in, putting the new mid plate in, which we may send Steve another one at some point. Grant has a 3D scanner that I think I'm going to have to go buy one as well at some point. So to 3D scan that, and then we'll have the mid plate as a file that we can, you know, always have on file for Steve and Val. That way they can, you know, have all that stuff available to them if they ever need another one. It's not like they usually wear out, but we have had a couple instances where if the car does a huge wheelie or something, it can actually bend some of the mounting plates in the car, because you think about how heavy that engine is, and when you come down from a wheelie, there's a lot of G-forces trying to throw that engine out of the car. And when you've got all of that weight, you know, you figure the engine, converter, transmission, all of that stuff is got to be a solid like 800-900 pounds. So then you've got all the extra G-forces from coming down from a landing, and that might be like 5,000-10,000 pounds worth of weight, and the aluminum will bend, which maybe it's better that the plates bend rather than breaking parts of the block off, but hopefully we never wheelie the thing. So there's kind of race car building, you know, you can think of all these different scenarios, but you can't build for them all, literally. There's going to be some areas that if you tried to account for them, like say this motor plate thing, yeah, if we built 1-inch thick motor plates, we'd be able to handle all that, and it would never be in a problem with them bending. But then they would be so heavy, and if you built the entire car that way, the thing would be so heavy that it would break more driveline parts, because you're trying to push all this extra weight. So you're always trying to find a balance when it comes to building these cars so that they perform well and cover the majority of the scenarios that you may, or the car may, encounter. So I will say it's awesome to have a crew of guys that's willing to stay late and thrash on a project like this so that we could bring it down and put it on display for you guys. Just because no matter how much planning you do on the front side, it always seems like these things come down kind of to the last minute. I mean, you guys saw it with Cletus's Eagle. They put in a huge effort into that thing at the last minute, and we're end up doing the same here.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
If this doesn't get you excited,
Oh.
if you think this is sick, just exit the video. Don't even watch it. You don't deserve to.
My phone looks cooler just filming this.
I know. Like, this is sick.
This is the
I
coolest.
gotta get out of the way.
Get out of the way. Yeah, you're ruining the
you're
shot.
right, I am.
Oh! It's beautiful. Oh.
With the suspension.
Yeah, look at that. Watch out.
Hold on, I gotta pull these things.
I mean, look at the turbos. We don't even have the headers done yet. And the black with the billet.
Yeah.
And the
And the gray
stainless.
powder coat.
And the black valve covers. Oh my. Oh my. What do you think of that, Eddie?
I think a lot of things that I can't say on camera. You know, as many of you would feel towards a woman, that's how I feel towards this.
Oh. All right, we gotta get back to work.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we could be home by 5 a.m.
Maybe. I mean, Kevin said we're not allowed to leave till this thing's done.
Yeah.
So I
He's
guess we're
actually
gonna be-
keeping us here.
Yeah, he's locked the doors. We're not allowed to leave.
Yeah, he locked us in here, and yeah, he also said we have to be back here 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. So
Yeah. Applications for new boss.
yeah,
If y'all want to be our new boss, hit us up.
yep.
Yeah.
I don't think Eddie thought I would leave that last part in, but I'm leaving it in because I thought it was hilarious. And no, I didn't make them stay. You know, they kept cranking on the thing and got a absolute ton of work done. Maybe even more than we needed to get done to get it ready enough to display down at the 2.4 hours of LeMullets and Cletus and Carr's burnout competition the following day. But both him and Eddie stayed, turns out, till after 5 o'clock in the morning, and then went home, caught a power nap, loaded up the RV, and then took off down to Bradenton. And I got up, took my kids to school, came down, CJ and I got the car loaded up in the trailer, and then we headed down as well, which you'll see later in this video. But for all of these guys to come put in the effort that they did is pretty awesome to see as a shop owner. And we're definitely going to try and do some fun stuff outside of the shop with everybody. You know, if it's, you know, at least for the YouTube stuff, I think it would be kind of fun for you guys to go to see us go to the track and have some fun outside of the typical work environment all the time. And plus, I think it'd be a great payback for my guys to, you know, be able to come out and have some fun. And we're going to let them pilot the burnout car. And if the track will let us, maybe we'll take them for some 60-foot shots in Soccer Mom. I think that would be kind of cool. Get their reactions to, you know, going 1 teen to 60 foot and then feeling the turbo come in, and maybe we'll run it to 330. We'll see. Definitely don't want to push the issue with the track at all, and it may depend on which track we end up going to. But that's definitely some of the things we have planned as soon as we can get some of these get ahead on some of these bigger projects. Like once Steve and Val's car gets clear of the shop, that'll kind of take some of the stress off of us, and then Ricky and I can get back on the Nova to start getting the interior painted, getting the underside painted, and then starting assembly on that car, because we want to be testing it hopefully by the middle of December. So we've got quite a bit of stuff to do, but we have been absolutely rocking it in the shop lately. And you know, a lot of that credit is to the guys really stepping up and like going above and beyond, and you know, doing everything they need to do and more to keep these projects rolling along. So hopefully you guys appreciate that, watching as viewers, and understand the kind of effort that it does take sometimes on these cars, and the massive amount of hours to build these completely custom cars for people. And yeah, it's a huge undertaking. And for all of you watching, we thank you for watching and following along with us, because that makes it even that much more fun to have a crew of people following along with everything we're doing in the shop.
Oh my god, I can't even. Just look.
Yeah, look at that. So it's not all the way down yet, which is why it looks so high.
Oh my
Because
god.
we don't have that wheel on. Because I don't know where the lug nuts are for that wheel. So we didn't put them on yet. But this is the first time that it has like all the suspension in it. And it could sit on all four. I actually really want to put that wheel on and drop it all the way down.
Look at that turbo.
But that is so sick. Like, we got the elbows tacked back on.
Oh my god, like just look over, like look over here. You got the turbo kit.
Oh, like down there, seeing the wheel. That's so
Dude,
sick.
like look right here, look, shine right here.
Oh,
It's beautiful. Steve, you got some massive turbos. I think this is insane.
yeah, that's sick. Got the inside, got the CJ put half of the carbon tunnel in. The whole carbon tunnel's made, I'm pretty sure, but we left half of it off so that, you know, people that
Them. So you guys.
yeah, you guys
can
come in and
see the fab work in person.
Yeah, so you can see the two drive shaft enclosures. I think we're gonna put the shifter in, which is what that tube sticking up is.
Yeah.
And then you can see the Turbo 400 down there and some of the wiring. And I don't have a light, and I don't know if you can see, but Kevin's I guess what's supposed to be a shock sensor is now a transmission gear position sensor. So you switch it into gear and it knows what gear it's in.
Yeah, it's 4:45, so me and Eddie have done what we're gonna do, and they're gonna button it up in the morning and ship it all.
Yeah, we did all this, and then they can button it up, and then we're gonna meet them down there. Cause I'm tired.
And I'm gonna sleep the whole ride.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
The only reason you're coming with me.
As soon as I sit in that
The only reason you're coming.
What's going on, dude?
The only reason you're coming with me is to keep me awake. That's the only reason. That's the
Wrong person. Wrong person.
Okay, well, I
I
guess.
got some sleeping to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got more sleeping to do than you.
Anyway, we're gonna get out of here for tonight. It's 4:45. We were honestly thinking of just pulling an all-nighter.
We were gonna do it, but
I
we
think
worked too fast, and we finished everything we wanted to finish.
Yeah,
tonight.
we did. I wanted to get the motor in, turbo kit done-ish, and have the suspension in, and we.
And then once we started searching for tools that were like in our hands,
Yeah,
we decided, you know, let's call it.
Once we walked around the shop twice completely, and then realized that the electric ratchet was sitting right here, we were like, all right, it's time to go. Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to go home and sleep. We'll see you guys at LeMullets.
Well, we're in the next morning. The guys, you could probably tell by the length of that time lapse, which I haven't even watched yet, that the guys were here super, super late. Eddie and Ricky till well past 3 in the morning. Steve got here and was bolting the top of the intake or the top of the engine on with the intake and the throttle body adapters. CJ was here till what? You said 1?
1:30-ish.
1:30. Yeah, my guys are awesome.
Other guys were here till 5:30, but I knew they weren't going to be here today. I didn't want to leave Kevin.
5:30. Woo! Oof. I know the last time Eddie texted me was around 5, and I thought he was already headed home. And I was already up because my youngest daughter was sick. So I've actually got her in the office. She's feeling better now, but little stomach bug maybe. But we're all loaded up. The car is not here. And I'm sure you could tell in the time lapse that quite a bit got done. So she's loaded in the box. Steve left his rig here because no need to drag that thing down and congest everything, try to get through all the traffic. But there is, well, there's kind of 2 race cars in the trailer. You see Ricky's progress on the trunk. He's got a little step in it where the fiberglass lid will sit. CJ with the loudest noise in the world. Got half of the transmission tunnel in so people can see all of the trick tubing underneath the transmission tunnel. And then here is the business end. Woo! It's in there. And it's amazing looking. Look at that shot right there. Would you just look at it? Oh my, that is so cool looking. You can see the turbos. That just looks amazing. And it has definitely been a thrash. But we're gonna get this thing. I still think we can get the thing ready to test a week from now. The radiator came in this morning. So we've got that, we've got the oil cooler, the transmission cooler, and then it's gonna be stuff like the blow-off valves and E-gates, as well as like the CO2 plumbing, the radiator plumbing. So once we get, the plan is for Monday, first thing, we are going to get a rough idea of all of the fittings we need, probably order some extras, and fittings, hose, which there's actually not a lot of hose needed. Like we'll have the dry sump, there'd be a decent bit of plumbing for that, some special fittings. There's a single 6AN line that's gonna come up from the back of the car, maybe an 8 if Steve wants to do an 8, but all it needs is a 6 for this thing driving around on the street in street mode. The 6AN will flow all the fuel that the single 450 pump in the tank will flow, so no need to carry the extra weight there, I don't think. But yeah, lots of stuff to handle here. And we'll get all those fittings in. Hopefully they're here Tuesday, Wednesday. And then by then we'll have most of the wiring wrapped up. We didn't get this interior stuff bolted in, like the seats, but that should only take about half an hour. And you know, I'm not faulting the guys for it at all because they were here way later than I was. Usually it's me going the long night shift, but when you're a single dad, you gotta do what you gotta do. And yes, I'm still with my girlfriend, but she has her house and her kid as well. So, you know, during the week when I have my girls, it's just me. And that's the way it is for now. So anyways, we're about to load up and head down to Bradenton. Steve and Kyle hopped in their smart car and buzzed down there. And Eddie and Ricky are on the way with their RV, or his RV. FedEx is pulling in the parking lot, which is rare. FedEx is usually here late because FedEx is FedEx. I'll leave it at that. But anyways, this is probably a shorter video because of all of the stuff. Didn't get a reaction from Steve just because, you know, it came rolling in late and they were ready to get on the road and get down to Bradenton. So anyways, thank you all for watching and subscribing. Stay tuned because it's about to get real exciting with getting this thing wrapped up, wired, fired, dynoed, tested. All next week. Well, this week. All right, see you guys next time.